Welcome to Kava and Kettlebells, where we talk about kava, fitness, and life. Let's get kavafied.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to Kava and Kettlebells. This is Charles.
Hey guys, this is Heidi. Thank you so much for tuning back in. If you haven't already, please take 5 seconds and like this episode, subscribe to our channel, and share with your friends and family. As a reminder, we do not monetize off this. Charles and I found this ourselves. So in order to help spread the word and keep this going, it means all the world and really helps when you subscribe, like the episodes, and share with your friends and family. All right, let's get into the episode. Actually, let's get into our workout of the day. So my workout of the day actually was yesterday. I took a rest day today, which will lead us into our episode topic today is rest and recovery. But yesterday I did a tricep and shoulder workout. So I always like to start my tricep and shoulder workouts with kind of a warm up, just a lightweight, and I'll do, lateral raises, front raises, tricep, skull crushers, like standing skull crushers, or if I'm at home, I will do, bench dips. And so I was at the gym, so I did, just the light weights, just kind of warm up those muscles. And then I did overhead presses. I did a little heavier today. I normally stick to 25s, but I did 30 pounds, less reps, heavier weight, trying to up that, the reps for those. And then I did just one arm tricep extensions. And I like to do alternating overhead presses as well. So then I would do alternating overhead presses, holding my arms up and then alternating one arm at a time. And then I did dips on the dip bars, and I switched it up and went to the cables today. Did a little bit of, I use the rope attachment to do upright rows on the cable. And then I switch it and do tricep pull downs with the rope. And then I did one arm with the cable still lateral raises. And then I ended with one arm tricep pull downs on the cable as well. And that ended my tricep and shoulder workout.
Nice. Well, as we'll get into it, I don't take days off, unfortunately. Probably should.
Which he should.
So my off days are, I like to call them my active recovery days.
Which
right?
is, and he just goes to the gym, or he'll do his workout at home. It'll be a little less intense, and it's like, okay,
all right, legitimately, okay. My active rest days, in my mind, how I do my active rest days.
Are you talking like your cardio ab days? Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Okay. Like, seriously, it's an off day.
Yeah, so tell them about your off day.
So my off day, okay, my off day is not an off day in traditional terms, okay?
In any terms.
But, so, for me though, like, I don't know, like, fitness for me is like, it's always been like there for me. So like in all periods of my life, all times in my life, any times when the ups, the downs, right? Times where I've been away from home for, months and months on end, back when I was deploying in the military. And even like, I look back to like a lot of those deployments, like after like really, really shitty days, really bad missions, especially like, deaths, all that kind of stuff. That was like the one constant I had, right? So like for my life, I don't know, like, it grounds my day, right? So like, it's not just a physical thing. For me, it's very much a mental thing. But realizing, and like, we're going to get into this, right?
We're going to do it.
That, sometimes it's, like a crutch, I would say. And we'll probably talk about this, right? But, using that fitness as a crutch. And there's a lot of times where I look at it, it's like, well, instead of using that time to go work out, just because like I want it and it helps, maybe there's other things I could do to, give myself that, whether it's, spend time with the family, praying, maybe just, sitting outside for an hour, right? And just like not looking at anything, not listening to anything. So there's other tools that I'm trying to utilize to get me to that spot. But, there's just something about moving my body. It just, for my mental health, it really helps. But going back to the story. So my active rest days, what I like to do is usually some type of cardio. So whether that's a run, a walk, stair stepper, sprints, and then I'll, depending on what it is, if it's a run, it's usually about a 3-mile run. And then sometimes, I'll do a 1-mile walk after that. If it's stair stepper, I usually try to do, 30 minutes on a stair stepper at a fast pace, not holding, the handrails.
Yeah.
And then I always do abs on my off day. So that's like the one day a week I train my abs, and that's on my off day. So still turns into an hour workout.
Yeah.
Right?
So I think the biggest difference is just that he's switching the focus of his workout. So he goes from doing strength training workouts to a cardio workout, cardio and core, which is important, but it's not a rest day.
It's not a rest day. It's a
cardio day. So let's kind of get into, rest and recovery. Rest and recovery it's so important. And what I think people don't understand is how the muscle works. So when you are doing a workout, that's when people think that they're, I'm making the gains, I'm making the strength during my workout, and you're not. What you're doing is you're breaking that muscle apart, basically. Like, you're damaging that muscle during your workout, and then you need to rest to allow that muscle to recover and grow back, and then it will grow back stronger and bigger. Those muscle fibers, you break them apart, and then they get to grow back and grow stronger bonds. And that's essentially what you're doing. But if you never give yourself a rest day, then you never give those muscles a chance to actually rest and actually recover. So it's important to either have a rest day or cycle your body part workout. So for example, that's why we do body part splits. That's why, so we can go to the gym, 4 to 6 times a week, but we give each muscle a rest. So, I break mine up. I do back and biceps, triceps and shoulders, and then I do a leg day. And then I just cycle through those 3. I do not ever do direct chest movements. I do chest movements through like push-ups, dips. I do it as like an alternate, like it's not the main muscle being worked, just because I just don't want to build those muscles too big. They're strong. I can bench press. I just don't, because I don't want those striations, as a female for your chest. It's a little bit different than a male. So that's just my personal opinion. I don't like to mess with the way my chest looks. So I don't do a direct chest workouts.
Can respect that. I do direct chest workouts. I like the striations.
Exactly, but it's different. His chest muscle, like his chest is a lot different than my chest,
Yeah, and that's fine. But I think, too, with talking about resting, and this goes into overtraining, and I think this is where sometimes Heidi and I even disagree, because we have a house divide in this. To me personally, and there's guys out there like CT Fletcher, for instance. He says this: there's no overtraining, right? And like he'll fight it to the core. And I like CT Fletcher. I like his mentality, because I'm kind of with that mentality of like, dude, if I'm eating, if I'm sleeping, and I'm training smart, like I'm not going to overtrain. Like I still make gains. I still make strength gains, right?
I think the key word though is training smart. And you do train smart, but the average person, I'll be honest, doesn't train smart. And the average person who's doing a full body workout every day, who's doing bench press every day and isn't seeing progress because they're not training smart.
Exactly. So like, yes, I'm not in there every day, like hitting my biceps or hitting chest, right? Or doing squats every day. Although there was a time where I did the 30-day squat challenge, right?
How'd that go?
Actually went good. Yeah. I actually liked it. So like, but what I do notice is, for me, it's like more mental. So if I notice when I'm going to the gym and I might be running hard for, a month or 2, what I start noticing is I just start getting bored in the gym. I start getting bored. My joints start getting a little bit achy. I start getting insomnia, and then I start just kind of even like losing like sex drive, which is interesting too. Cause like for me, like I'm on TRT. So like my testosterone is obviously replaced. Like I do, testosterone shots. Right. So even then, with that being said, like I still like notice like kind of like a drop in libido, drop in energy, sleep. And that's where I'm always like, got it. I've been training for like 25 days straight, which is
crazy.
Stupid. It's crazy. And then like, I'm always like, all right, let me take a couple of days off, or like over like, Thanksgiving. That's when I took like 5 days off. Because that's when I started noticing symptoms of like overtraining.
Yeah. And I think what Charles is also really good about, he's become really good about, is mixing up his workout. So for example, his cardio and core workout, he is very good about cycling. It's not like he does 30 days of straight strength training. He'll cycle, in and out of different styles of workouts. And that's why, like, I am not against, I'm not in the total CrossFit camp, but, I'm not against CrossFit. I'm not against those boot camp styles, F45, Barry's boot camp, but that should not be, in my opinion, your entire workout focus. It's so good to cycle in and out of those. I don't do that enough. I don't add, I'm starting to add more cardio, but it's great to add HIIT workouts in, but your entire workout should not be a HIIT workout all day, every day. It's great to cycle in and out, have those different things, but you need to have variety, basically. And that's what Charles has become really good about, is having a variety of workout. And he's better than I am about that. And that's what I think is training smart, is, bringing in different elements, not having just the same exact 3 strength training workouts that you do over and over and over again. But if you're not going to add in different styles of workouts, then you need to take a rest day. If you're not going to mix up those full body workouts, it's really essential to give your body, every now and then, you need to take a rest day, take a rest week, it's called a deload week. It's really, really crucial for that progress to rest.
Yeah. And I like the idea of a deload week, and I've been trying to do that more.
He likes the idea, but he doesn't like doing it.
I did take a deload week over Thanksgiving.
You did. He did really good. I was so proud of him.
But so when I look at rest and recovery, I kind of look at, like a pyramid or like pillars, right? So kind of, cover your bases, and at the very, very top, that's like the little, sprinkling on top, right? So for me, the basis is kind of your basics, right? So that is your training, right? Are you training smart? Okay. So not saying you have to necessarily have a program, because me personally, when I go to the gym, I know what body parts I'm doing, but I have no idea what exercises, how many reps I'm doing. And I'm very much I'm like, to me, I feel like an artist, and I go to my canvas. And that's also my fun time. So I go to the gym. I don't want to have a program. It's like a playground. I want to go do this, and I want to go do that. And if I'm not feeling that, I go do something different, And
I'll jump in here and say, because I am a personal trainer, and this is what I do, is I program workouts and, phased workouts for my clients. I see both sides, because I'm the same way. I have followed programs, and it's good because it takes the thought out of it. And I know, especially if you're new to working out, it's so important that you follow a program that an expert has planned for you. You know that you're hitting the right muscles. It's split up in the right way, and they're the expert. So it's really important to have that planned program if you are new to working out. But I'm the same way. It's hard for me to follow a program. Every day I want to kind of do something different, and it's a matter of like, how does my body feel? Like a few episodes ago, I hammered my hamstrings and glutes. I would never program that for a person. I would never have them do 2 different Romanian deadlifts and, hip thrusts and single leg, squats. I would never do that. But
But you do you.
But I do me, and I like to play around with it. So not to steal spotlight, you can continue.
No, you're good.
So yeah, play around with programs or do your own thing.
And yeah, I think too, like if someone's just starting out, they probably need a program. Yeah. So I see that value. But so again, kind of going back to like how I view things, I look at like, smart training. Then after that is rest, right? Because like sleep is so important. The more research coming out on sleep, it's imperative to not only mental health, right, cognitive health, but obviously physical health. That's when your growth hormone is released. So if you're not supplementing with, outside sources of growth hormone or supplements that increase growth hormone, that is your prime time for that to be released. Then I look at nutrition, right? Is your macros on point? Are you getting enough calories to sustain your workload and your energy? Even, enough calories just to live, Got it. But what about if you're trying to gain muscle? You need more calories.
Yeah.
You need to hit your macros. Then after that, I look at things like, okay, recovering outside of the gym. Am I, getting walks in? Am I stretching? Am I, letting my mind recover? Do I have a good relationship, with, for me, that's with God, but for anybody else, do you have a good, spiritual relationship that helps you, kind of ground yourself? And then I look at things like supplements, for recovery. And there's a lot of things in there. And we used to own the supplement company. So trust me, I love supplements. I love ingredients. So within that realm of supplements too, I see Kava, and we're going to talk about Kava for recovery. And then, little things, the sprinkling on the top, I look at kind of like more of like the biohacking stuff. So like the ice baths, the sauna, the red light therapies. And then at the top, I look at things like ice bath, red light therapy, and saunas. And I'm not saying those aren't beneficial. In many ways, they are great for recovery. But for the average person, they're expensive and they're also very time consuming, right? So we don't all have the biohackers, 4-hour morning routine that we can do. Like I got things to do in my life to live. So every once in a while, I like to do a sauna, or every once in a while, an ice bath. But I look at little changes, like where I'll take a cold shower each morning, and that's my ice bath.
Yeah, so I think that's a really good pyramid. But let's kind of break down, each level. So let's start with sleep. Sleep is so important. Like that's when your body heals. That's why when you're sick, you need to sleep. That's why we fight with our kids all the time. Like, just take a nap. That's when your body heals. And it's so crazy. There are people who just have crazy sleep and they do everything right. They're eating right. They're in the gym. They're doing all the right workouts, but their sleep is terrible. And they adjust their sleep. They prioritize that sleep. They get better sleep. And that alone allows their body to finally lose that fat and gain that muscle that they've been working for so long with. And this is another reason why, those postpartum moms are amazing. Like, moms are warriors. We go through so much, giving birth. And I am a strong believer that a mom, it takes a good 12 plus months, at least a good full year for a mom's body to really get back to where it was pre-baby and hormonally, and especially with sleep, so postpartum, if you are a new mom, you really need to have grace on yourself because you are not getting a good sleep. Your stress levels are crazy. You have this new baby. You have an unpredictable schedule. Right when that baby gets into a routine, it decides to switch things up. And so you really need to have grace on yourself and stop looking at all the fitfluencers and Instagram, because most of it's bullshit. And it is not expected for you to get that body back that quickly. And when you see people that happens, some people it does, and that's okay, but it's not expected. And so, you are not giving your body the right conditions to recover and to progress. And so that's just my little rant, on moms. Have grace on yourself, give yourself time. It's not expected that, you're not creating the right conditions, and that's okay because you just gave birth to a human and you are creating, you created life. So have grace on yourself, and take it easy, but sleep is so, so important. And that, that can be make or break for people.
It really is. Like, when I started emphasizing my sleep, so many things got better. And if you've all been listening to us the past 2 years on audio, you know that I've had sleep issues. So that's something like I'm very, very keen on prioritizing because it's massive. Like, you're not getting sleep. It's taking years off your life. Like, literally, you're not going to recover in the gym. You're not going to be focused the next day. So another thing to note too, like cortisol levels, like they decrease while you sleep. Then obviously when you wake up, they rise during periods of stress. They're really high up. So, when your cortisol is out of whack, that's when you have a hard time losing fat. That's when your hormones suffer. You can get cravings for certain foods. So I think cortisol is actually, we talk about rest and recovery, that cortisol management is huge.
Yeah.
And that's something I think is actually overlooked a lot. And because most people, will look at, things like, diet, training, what supplements am I taking? But if you're not looking at sleep, and if you're not looking at ways of how to relax and bring that cortisol down, then, I feel like you're missing the giant piece.
Absolutely. And that's why stress is huge too. So people who are super stressed out, you need to find a way to de-stress yourself. Because if you're stressed, that cortisol is high all the time, and your body, it really dampers your ability to progress and work on that body composition like you want. And so again, Kava is so great about, de-stressing and helping you relax. And going back to the sleep, that's also why we are huge proponents of keeping the same sleep schedule 7 days a week. If you are staying up crazy late on Friday and Saturday, come Sunday, that's why people struggle so much on Monday, because they totally change their schedule on the weekend, and you can't do that. We wake up, we set alarms, we wake up at 4:45, 5 in the morning on the weekends, and we go to the gym, and we keep that same schedule, and it helps tremendously, and it helps.
I was gonna say that's the one thing I want to say that's cured my insomnia, but
it's helped a ton.
It's really helped my insomnia and my sleep issues is a consistent schedule. So no matter if it's, Saturday, Sunday morning, and even if I stayed up later that night, is just biting the bullet and still keeping my same wake up time. Let's talk about nutrition a bit.
Yeah. So nutrition, I kind of like to explain it like building a house. You can have the blueprints for a house, and that's kind of like your workouts. You can go do this amazing workout, but if you don't have any wood, you can't build the house. So you can have the blueprints, but if you don't have any wood and nails, you can't actually build that house. And food is the wood and nails. You can have the awesome workout going to the gym, but if you're not feeding your muscles can't grow. And that is why, it's not about the calories necessarily. It's not about like eliminating things and eating under your calories. If you're not eating the right foods and actually feeding your muscles, it's impossible for them to grow. And that's why we've experienced it. We know people, I've trained so many people where they, I don't know where this random 1,200 calorie number came from, but for the average person, that is not enough calories. You're not giving yourself enough maintenance calories for your body to just run it, do everything it needs to do just to live. And so when you're trying to lose weight, your body is stressed out and it's freaking out and it's just trying to survive. So it's not going to allow you to lose that fat because it's in survival mode. And so it wants to keep that fat. And I've seen so many women eat more calories, and that allows their body to finally relax and let that fat go. And they're like, how am I eating more and losing weight? And I'm like, because you've been starving yourself for so long. Yeah, so nutrition is huge.
And same with like building muscle too, right? So you need to be consuming adequate calories and meeting your macros, right? So protein obviously is important, but also, managing your energy intake, which is going to come from your carbohydrates and your fat, right? Those are used for energy. And obviously they both have like critical roles in like hormones and everything too. And, for me, I really notice like, especially when we travel, if we're traveling and it's been like 2 days and I'm not getting my meals in, like I started noticing, especially if I go like train on vacation and I haven't had my nutrition, like I definitely don't have as much in the tank, and my recovery is not on quite par as I am when, everything is good. So, we understand like obviously nutrition is hard because we know people have busy lifestyles. It takes a lot to prep food, and it's easy to, reach for the fast food or even like reach for like the protein powders because they're easy to make, shake, whatever. But you really got to emphasize whole food nutrition. And again, look at it as fuel for your body. Don't necessarily look at it as like, oh, it's like a tasty, every meal has to be tasty. Look at it as like, no, this is like the gas in the tank that I need to get from point A to point B. Yeah.
When you get to point, you need gas in the tank to do that workout, but you deplete that gas. And so it's really important for recovery to have a meal after that workout to replenish. And I always say, if you have a sweet tooth and you like cookies, that's the best time to have those cookies is right after your workout, because your body's going to use it. It's going to take it and it's going to replenish that glycogen in your body. So it needs it. So it's really important to, in your recovery process, to eat food after your workout. So, sleep, eat food. And what was next on that pyramid?
So I would say before it's like the supplements and all the extra stuff, like just making sure you're doing some type of a little bit of active recovery, and then also kind of like that mental kind of recovery too. So for us, active recovery comes in the form of usually going on family walks. like in the afternoons, we like to take our 2 girls and our big Doberman Vince for a walk. And usually it comes out to around a mile, but it's good. Walking's been, proven to increase blood flow, lower blood pressure, increase, mental health capacity, all these things, right? So
they say, don't quote me on the numbers exactly, but I want to say it is like 7,000 steps a day is what, consistently, not just like one day, is what leads to better, just like lifetime expectancy. And it can increase your life expectancy just by getting those daily steps in. And so it's really important. Walking is cardio, it's great for the body.
Yeah. And I see walking and how, like I just mentioned, how we do it. I'm hitting killing 2 birds with 1 stone. So I'm getting the walk in. It's getting blood flow in my body. It's active recovery. I'm with my family. So I'm also having that connection time. It's good for my mental health. It's good for my spiritual health. My serotonin's raised because I'm having a good time, with my girls and, with my dog who's a goof, right? So I'm kind of hitting all that. And then, so it might look different for everyone, but just, keep in mind that you have to recover mentally as well on the outside. So find what fits you. If you're an introvert, for you, working all week, being out in public, all that kind of stuff, especially if you got a very public facing job or you're dealing with a lot of like customers or clients as an introvert, probably for you at the end of the week to recharge, you might just need to, have a little time to yourself versus if you're an extrovert, right? And you're in a very isolated job or, position at the end of the week, you might need to go out and you might need to be around people to recharge you. So there's like that, the physical and emotional and spiritual aspect to that, I think is, crucial to recovery. But then getting into supplements.
Well, before we get into supplements, going off of the recovery as well, something about, because I remember what pops in my mind is when we went to Zion. So we went to Zion and we did what's called the Narrows. That has all the water.
Yeah.
So we did the Narrows, which is really, we didn't even do the whole thing. I think we did 7 hours total, 7 or 8 hours. It's mostly in water. You're like in a cavern and it was awesome, but that, it took a toll on our body. That's not the type of movement that we're used to. And so the next day I was so sore. And the best way when you're sore, you naturally just want to be like, I don't want to do anything. But the best thing to do is keep moving, really get that blood flowing, and that's going to help alleviate that soreness. And so I remember we did another light hike, and every 5 minutes I'm like, stop, I need to do a squat break. And I would just get so sore. And so just squatting, doing those body weight movements, doing, the same movements you did with the workout before, but just body weight will really, get that blood flowing and help with that recovery.
Yeah. Getting that blood back in the muscle is crucial to help that recovery process. All right. So now back to supplements. This is something where I think is not necessarily needed.
Yeah, it's not essential.
Yes.
But it can help.
And it hurts me saying that because I'm someone who loves supplements and loves ingredients.
He does. He's a bit obsessed.
But it's not needed, like how you said. And there's little things you do here and there because supplements should be there to supplement a diet, right?
Yes.
Obviously, there's things that you can take that take you to a different level, right? Like, so if you're, someone who's familiar with anabolic steroids, growth hormones, SARMs, all those kind of things, yes, they can help enhance your recovery. But even someone like me who is just on, again, doctor prescribed TRT, which we know is not crazy dosages, it helps a little bit, but I still have to emphasize recovery massive because I'm not taking enough to take me to those, dosages or those compounds that would have me in more an enhanced category.
Yeah. Now, one supplement that I think is, and we've done an audio episode on this. We'll do a YouTube episode as well. But one supplement that I do think is essential that everyone should be taking is creatine. And creatine can be huge with recovery, especially when we were talking about sleep and not getting, a good sleep. If maybe you have just one bad night's sleep, creatine, it has been studied and proven to be huge at helping that body function, your body and your mind function properly the next day. So creatine is huge, both physically and mentally for recovery.
Yeah. Then from there, so creatine by far probably, it's the one supplement I always take regularly. It's something that's always in my rotation. From there, I'll look at things specifically for recovery, protein powders, and then the BCAAs and the EAA, so branched chain amino acids and your essential amino acids. I would look at those if you're not meeting your protein requirements.
So especially if you are like vegan or vegetarian, it's a lot harder to meet your protein requirements. And if you are eating enough protein, you should be getting your essential amino acids anyways. And so if you're not getting your protein, I would rather you just supplement with protein and take a protein shake. And you're going to get the same amino acids from that protein shake that you would from, an amino acid supplement. But if you are, vegan or vegetarian, then BCAAs and, ECAs, amino acids are great for you to supplement with because you're not getting those amino acids from protein.
Yeah. Then I do like things like glutamine, not necessarily for the muscle repair, but I think glutamine is excellent for like the immune system and gut repair. So I do look at that as a good like recovery tool. So, a glutamine plus creatine post-workout, maybe with like a carbohydrate mix, and that's really fast digesting, again, to get glycogen back in the muscles to kickstart that recovery process, and then get some protein in there afterwards. I prefer whole food protein after I work out versus a protein shake. And then from there, there's supplements out there that can, help with recovery. I think of some things like for sleep, like I think GABA.
I love GABA, yeah.
Can help your sleep, right? Magnesium. I like magnesium glycinate before sleep. That's a supplement that I find really effective in, my quality of sleep, right? And, and that's really for me. Like, I know people out there be like, oh, there's this supplement and this supplement. Like, trust me, I know the supplements out there, like guys, like I know them all. I think there's a lot of good supplements for performance enhancement. But when it comes to recovery, I think that's where you really got to emphasize the food, the sleep, and the nutrition. But I do have some Kava right here. And I do see Kava as a very critical role in playing recovery. Now, Kava is sold as a dietary supplement. So yes, I guess we could consider it a supplement, right? But Kava itself, I love for recovery because it helps bring down cortisol because it relaxes you, right? It helps with sleep, depending on the cultivar. And then again, it helps, kind of relax your muscles. So if I'm having, a lot of soreness, having some Kava, especially in the evening, kind of helps me move a little bit. Again, it helps me kind of, if I need to go on a walk, just like a light walk, it can take some of that, pain out of my, maybe it was like a hard leg day, right?
And this is anecdotal. It's not like there's studies on this, but just allowing your body to fully relax after that workout that day, help you sleep. And then the next day, I feel like, as we've been drinking more Kava, like I feel better the next day getting into a workout, because I drank that Kava the night before and just let myself really just relax and let my muscles relax. So I know we've talked a lot about, post-workout recovery, which is so important, those rest days, all the things after your workout, but it's also crucial to rest during your workout. This is probably the biggest thing that I get from clients, and they're like, I wasn't sweaty enough, my heart wasn't beating fast enough. And unless you're doing a cardio workout, you don't want your heart to be racing the entire time. It's really important if you are doing strength training that you give yourself rest periods between those sets. Yeah. And it depends how hard you're lifting. The harder you're lifting, the heavier the weights are, the longer you need to rest. I want to say like strongman competitions, they rest for like 2 to 5 minutes between their sets. I think a good,
like powerlifting.
Yeah, like powerlifting and people who are, preparing for those competitions, they rest for 2 to 5 minutes. I think a good 60 to 1 to 2 minutes between sets is typically good. But if your heart rate has come down, you feel ready to start that next set, go ahead and start the set. But it is so important that you understand you are not resting between sets. If your heart is racing the entire time, you're doing cardio. You may have weights in your hand, you're just doing weighted cardio.
Well, cool. Well, hey, hopefully that helped you guys out a bit. You know, for us, that's kind of how we look at recovery and some of the tips and some of the tricks that we do. Again, you know, Kava is a pretty integral part of our recovery process. And we found that over the years of drinking Kava, it's again, enhanced our recovery. It's not the main tool of our recovery, but it helps enhance that recovery. So sleep, diet, the nutrition, and your training, right? Going to be the big 3 factors to making sure that you recover and you're on to your next workout. Bigger, stronger, faster, leaner, whatever it is that the goal that you're looking for.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. Let's end with a bula.
All right, bula.
Bula.